Daddy, see you later. See you later.
Actually, see you later.
Hi my beautiful people, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Welcome back to another episode of Faith Corner. I love it here and I love when we have guests on the Faith Corner, and today I have my lovely amazing friends for this episode. It's going to be exciting. It's both exciting, nervous, it's everything, it's bits and bits of everything. But most importantly, it's Faith Corner. So we have God at the center of everything. But then so I will let my guests introduce themselves.
Hi everyone, my name is Daphne and I'm Barbara's friend.
Hi everyone, my name is Zoe and I too am Barbara's friend.
Yeah, guys, my friends are just, Moving on. So today's episode of Faith Corner is an interesting one. If you haven't watched the last episode that was on being a Christian, finding God in university, please make sure you go and watch. Yeah, with Diana. So today, today's episode of Faith Corner.
Oh my days.
Who does?
Okay, go on.
Alright. Well, hi girls in their 20s, 30s onwards, but and even below, but
even 18, like
even 18,
yeah.
even 18.
They started early.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Today's episode, we're going to be sharing and just having a discussion on being single or singleness as a Christian. Being single as a Christian and navigating your way through the entire singleness. It's a lot. Like there's a lot that goes in there. So for starters, personally, I am recently single. Is it recent anymore? It's been 10 months.
Has it?
I know.
10
months.
I like who's like I am.
Yes, see? 10 months. So I'm recently single as a Pringle. Go and watch that one also. And before
The link will be somewhere here.
somewhere on there, or just go to the channel and just binge all the videos. So I'm recently single. It's about 10 months, and before that I was dating. I was in a relationship for 6 years. So that means
That's a degree with masters, isn't it?
PhD.
PhD in relationship. So that means I was literally dating. I've been dating my entire adult life because we left high school about 7 years ago.
Yeah.
7, yeah.
7, I think,
Yeah, about 7 years ago. So I've been dating my entire adult life, and for me, being single is something that's new for me. It's been something I've had to navigate. Like I remember towards the breakup, this is like one of the things I was most afraid of. Like, how am I going to survive without someone? Can I actually do it? Like, is it possible? And like, how do single people actually do this? Like, guys, there I was. I just went in deep. It's been 10 amazing months. I'm glowing. I'm doing amazing. I'm doing great. So.
The glow is sponsored by Malia's
Oh.
Naturals. Don't forget to go on Instagram at Malia's Naturals. Follow, like, comment, and yeah.
And shop.
And
I have
shop.
stock. Guys, support my business, but dear, please.
A shameless plug.
You have to plug you and everything. So if you want to look good in your singleness, just buy Malia's. So that's my story. I don't know what's yours.
Man,
This
I
one.
have a PhD in singleness.
PhD in relationship.
Anyway,
Right.
of course we don't consider high school flings. I feel like we're
No,
just
what are we
testing the
doing?
waters,
I feel like you should anyway continue.
Okay.
Continue.
You tell us your bit.
No.
Anyway, for myself, I haven't dated in my adult life. I had a fling in high school, and that was about it. When you left high school,
Yeah, fling. If you're watching this, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
A fling.
You are a fling.
A fling. It's a shinging. It's
that is no, it was a fling, yeah, and it ended. And yeah, when we left school, everyone just went their separate ways, and since then I've been single. So yeah, I haven't dated.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it's been when did you leave school?
2015.
2015.
Yeah.
That's 5 to 2020.
6 years. 7.
7 years. Singleness,
Yeah.
That's
nice.
PhD
Experts.
replacement.
Well done.
And Zoe?
Yeah.
Guys, I feel like if you're to speak about it logically, I haven't been single my whole adult life. So I think when I left school, I dated for a bit. I think it was like 9 months. Something happened that ended, and then dated again. Something happened that ended. But I think we'll go into it later on. I think. But if I'm being honest, I feel like since 2018, 2019, technically, logically, I have been single. But then, of course, like when things just get like so confusing, like you end up getting, as Daphne calls them, entanglements, situationships, and not even how do I even describe it? Yeah, like there's just always like those unclear situations where whereby there's this guy, feelings, but it never goes anywhere. So I think I too technically have been single, but yeah, there's just been lots of ups and downs.
I feel like if it's not defined, you're still single, regardless of
Single
the
but not single.
single but
I'm still single. There's no but.
There's no but. Okay.
I'm still single.
Cool.
So,
Okay.
Cool. Another thing that I love with my friendships and most of the people around me is that we are Christian, we're heavily invested in our faith journey. Hence, having this conversation on Faith Corner, we could have done it on Let's Talk, but then I felt like we needed to have that aspect towards the same conversation. And us being Christians, there is being single in the outside world. For example, when I was in high school, before A-level, before I got into my relationship, I had a couple of issues that stemmed way back from some family drama. And my mission after high school was to go, date men, eat their money, break their hearts. So I thought I'd actually be single at uni. And I think God was like, this one, if she's single, she'll not see her purpose. So I ended up in a relationship. So I feel like being in university, the adult life, most times singleness, people see it as an opportunity to gallivant, explore. Really, there is no limitation to what, it's like there is no cap. But then when you're a Christian girl, that's where you have your personal caps, I would say. You have these boundaries that even as much as you're single, you'll have friends that are doing all these things, but then you cannot, and they don't align with your personality, they don't align with your principles, they don't align with what you stand for. And also there's this narrative that Christian girls are boring.
Man, we are not boring.
I know guys actually be like, you're Christian. I say this one,
I know.
So it can be quite a lot to navigate singleness as a Christian girl. And more so for me, I was dating, yes, but I feel like my deliverance, I've been Christian all my life, but my deliverance came last year, about July, after I felt terribly ill. I am calling it delivery because there's a lot that's it was just a lot was just being shared, honestly. So that it felt like I stand on Isaiah 62, Zion's new name, Barbara's new name, I'm being given a new name. So if you knew me before, you probably don't know me now, but you know me, but you don't know me.
It's a new creation. The old has passed.
Thank you.
Yeah, so it was, I feel like if we broke up any earlier without having a foundation I had by the time of the breakup, maybe I would have maneuvered the entire singleness phase differently. But then by the time I became single, I was now on my faith journey. I'm like, God, use me as your vessel. So God's vessel cannot be gallivanting with the same mission that I had to go and eat men's money, break their hearts, what, So I feel like everyone has an experience, so I don't know, we'll just share. I don't know, how was just in your PhD with placement in singleness? How has your experience been been for you to be single for all those years?
For me, I don't know, it has shifted or changed. As you say, when you become a Christian, you get a different perspective, different goals, and your intentionality as well changes. When we just finished high school, of course, I had the same mindset, try out, date, whoever you like and stuff like that. But I didn't get the opportunity. But yeah, so when I went on my faith journey, I feel like my perspective changed towards how I see guys and what a relationship is, what's the purpose of it. And I even think why I've been single like for a very long time is because I'm very intentional. Like, if I don't see where we're going, then what are we doing?
That's true.
Do you get it? So I don't like wasting people's time, and so I love to have the conversations. And I think because you meet guys, and guys will tell you they like you and stuff like that, and you're like, cool. But as you talk to them, you realize that your values are different. The way you see family is different. The way you see God. I mean, some people say they're religious, not religious. Some people say they believe in God but are not religious. What does that mean for them? You know? Because I feel like religion, and that is a very big thing.
Two different things.
Faith and religion is such a big, for a Christian person, it's such a big thing in a relationship. And I know there are people that can date outside their faiths, but for someone like me, I can't do that. So for me, that's very important. I can't meet someone and then you tell me, oh, I pray to God, but then, it's like once in a while. I'm like, we're going to clash. So we're better off as friends. So talking to people has just made me, I guess, really align or kind of really figure out what I want in someone. And I realized the more you know what you want, the harder it gets. The harder it gets. Because it's like when you're talking to someone, or someone comes and they just like,
red flag.
and they just say like one thing. Like, what do you mean?
Handsome guy. He starts talking and you're like, never mind.
Honestly. And that's not to say that we're perfect, guys. We're not perfect, yeah?
Yeah.
But I think there's certain things that as a woman or even as a man, you should have for yourself, and you should know that, you know what, I can compromise on these things, but on these things I can't. And so for me, that's how my single journey has been in terms of growing my faith with God, understanding who I am as a woman, understanding the kind of man that I need for where I'm going, you know. I think I'm quite traditional, so in terms of I think I'm traditional. So when I get someone, I would want to be there for them, like the whole way. And so it's very important to me who I choose and who I get to partner with, like to do life with. So I can't just go picking anyone, even if I like you, like you look good, you look fine. The values, the values, the faith, that for me has been like a limiting factor, I guess. Like it's that cup that you're talking about, the personal cup that I'm always looking at. And that's how I've navigated my like single life. Like you just meet people come tell you, I like you, like cool. Let's talk more. Let's talk. Let's see. Let's get to know people. And I also think sometimes as a single person, it's very easy to objectify people. Like you meet a guy, and the first thing in your mind is like, can I date this person? Like, do I like them? Like, guys, there is more to guys than just dating them.
You see a guy first thing, when are you getting married? How will it look like? Can I marry this guy? Where is he from?
Where is his
family like? Will he take care of
Is he rich? Can he?
Thank you.
So, but like being intentional when you meet guys and just like meeting someone and knowing them as a person, and then your relationship evolves, and over time maybe you can date, maybe you won't, but you've known them as a person. I think also that has really helped me like navigate my singleness in terms of when I meet someone, like my first thought is not like, this guy is so fine, I should date him. Like I would tell you, man, you look good. But that's where it's ending. Like I'm not letting my mind rest to I want to be this guy. I won't do that. At least I've trained my mind to like not do that. And I think that has also helped me like just have good male platonic friendships. So and over time some evolve, some don't, and you're like but you can still have those conversations with guys, and it's not weird, and you're not like trying to position yourself.
I feel like that's my issue. Every guy comes to, I'm just like 'cause I kind of got this guard for guys, because I'm just like, so anyone that like it's hard for me to navigate making new male friendships, because then I feel like every guy is coming with a certain agenda. But then when you say like learning to actually know people just for who they are, and it doesn't have to be anything, that's something I think
That is true.
I need to open myself up to do more, because I won't be like, if I don't fancy you like that and I don't see us dating,
We're not
I might as well as
friends.
not talk to you. Like,
That's
don't
true.
come, you
Don't
know,
come close.
Don't like, just
That
don't.
is
But
true.
yeah, yes. And Zoe,
You people. I feel like for me, I've not found it hard to be single, but then in the years where I've been like, oh, okay, fine, this phase of my life has ended, like I've finished dating this person, like we've broken up, something else comes up and I'm like, how do I navigate this one? And I think the most recent one was, and I don't know if I should go into detail, but like it didn't go anywhere because, as Daphne was explaining, like our values didn't align, like we wanted to go didn't align, and of course, like I feel like it took a while to let go because we were such very very good friends, and it was a very emotional entanglement, like very emotional. So it took a while. I think almost like 3-4 years that let go permanently, and then I feel like it's only now. Even now, I can't lie. I don't know what's wrong with my life, but it's like I can't even describe it. Anyway, like even now, I feel like now because I'm more, of course, like as Christians, your aim is to grow like each and every single day spiritually.
Yeah.
And like the more I've grown, the more my ambitions, even in being in a relationship, are more aligned with what God wants for me. So as Daphne said, like as I look for someone, I'm looking for someone who aligns with my purpose, who aligns with my values, who aligns with my beliefs. Not because how do I describe it? Of course, like they're like Christians like out there who you may go like to the same church with, but there'll be things that you don't like agree on. Like I know some, for example, simple things like tithing and like giving, they'll be like, oh no, like I'll spend the money myself. Others believe in like, if I don't go to church, I'll still be okay because I can pray in my room. Which, to be fair, like it's true, but then I know for me like that will kind of cause like not conflict, but like it just doesn't make sense to me personally. So like these are the things that like I look for, like but like even now I feel like one of the things that has helped me in navigating my singleness is simply just trusting God, that the man after God's heart. If
The
you're,
one there, look, if
if
you
you're
were there,
if you're listening,
Submit your
submit your CV, your recommendations, be accountable to. But just like trusting God and believing that when the time comes, because there's a time and a season for everything, and like God knows our desires, God knows our hearts. God won't give you someone who you're not in love with, and I feel like for me, that's one of the things that like I hold on to, because as I was saying, God won't give you someone who you won't find, for example, attractive, who you won't find desirable, and these are the things that like I've come to consider, because I think I had that mentality of like, okay, fine, he's a Christian man, like just go jig it.
Go.
hey,
When you
stop
reach there-
speaking, sharpen hey, just
like
go.
even though he's not good looking, even though he doesn't meet like your like not fleshly desires, but like things that you like, just like in a man. Like some people find men who are like introverts like very like they'll find that good for them. I personally like someone who's an extrovert who likes having fun, not too much so I can't lie. I'm not ready to go. I'm ready to go out with you. And anyway, that's a different topic. But yeah, like God knows your desires and He knows your heart, and He will give you the right person. All you have to do is be patient and don't settle. So that's one of the ways that also helped me navigate my singleness. So yeah, I think that's it. Just trusting God and just believing that He will give you the one that you want, and trying not to settle for every guy who comes saying, I like you, I have feelings for you, I have feelings for you every day.
Try and get out.
Every day I have feelings for you. Like, yeah, so that's it.
So how do you like vet the guys that come?
Of course, you know how Christian girls are. Oh, I'll go and pray about it. So of course, like you pray about it. But of course, like there's always that first look. Like you'll know. Like it's like when a guy sees a girl and he's like, I want to marry that girl. I feel like women also have that same instinct. Like you'll see a guy and you know like from how he like carries himself, from like how he speaks, from how he looks, like, okay fine, this is someone that I can consider. So like there's that first look, and then of course you're like, okay fine, I've seen this guy, seems interesting, let me go to what about it. So you go, you pray, and of course I feel like every girl has a what's it called, a list. As much as our pastors have told us don't make a list, I'm sure every girl has that secret list of I want him to have this, that. And lately, of course, like when I go to God, I'm like, okay, God, like I've seen this person, what is it? And like most of the time it's either through like a dream, if not a dream, like through a word or something, that God will be like, oh, okay fine, I may be considered. Because I remember, I think it was one of the guys that I was considering. When I prayed about it, I think God gave me the story of Abraham and Lot, and how like they had to like separate and stuff. So I was like, like this is tough, because this guy was like my best friend, you get. So it was very, very tough. And then the other one was through dreams. Although they weren't clear, like there was no definite yes or no, because of course as Christians as well, we do have our own like personal like will, but then of course it's good to be in God's perfect will as well, like for your life. And I think I just got a word as well about like someone, but then so I was like, is it this one, is it not? So I was like, do you get? So that's I think like my step to like take it to God, like pray about it. What is God saying? What is He showing you? And then of course like also like speak to people. Like I speak to my friends and tell them, okay guys, like there's this guy, like what do you think? Of course as girls, Instagram detectors 2.0
FBI
will find you.
This is board of directors.
Then my girls will be like, okay fine, so we've seen his mother, his father, his exes, his sisters, his siblings, this is where he works, what he does, this is where he was last night. Of course I think that means you guys,
no, these guys are that's your folks saying now.
I'm telling you, and Barbara knows everyone. I'm telling you, she will know you from even that guy, my brother's came last time. I know him. That's Barbara. Like she knows everyone in Campbell's. Like I'm really thankful because like, I have really good FBI detectives. So of course my girls then come in, and then also like speaking to like I think one of the things that I haven't done, but I do look forward to doing, is like if you're very close with your like spiritual leader, like your pastor or someone, just go speak to them and say, okay fine, this is the person that I've seen, what do you think about it? Like please help me like pray about it, because it's good to have not what's the word? It's good to have an opinion from like someone else as well, because when you go into these things, like there are times like when you'll be emotionally tired and you'll be blinded by, okay fine, he's this, and then you'll miss all the other things that like other people are saying as well. It's good to also speak to like someone else who's
people you trust, not everyone.
Hey, some just want to know your business and go use your stories, but make sure you trust these people. Just to supplement on Zoe's point about speaking to someone who you trust, guys, I cannot emphasize more on it's even good to pray over your friendships and over the people that you share with, like to kind of have God also in the middle of that, because then you just, let's say it's a destiny kind of thing, you're sharing with someone who wishes you badly, and they may not necessarily do any juju or witchcraft, but just because they wish you bad in their mind, they're just kind of putting, I don't know how to explain it. How would you explain that?
Just little thoughts, little like a train of thoughts in your head, like you come and tell someone. It's not gaslighting.
No, it's not.
Like I give you ideas that you wouldn't even have thought of. Like let's say you go to your friend and you're like, oh my days, my guy said this, and instead of like looking at it from a place that builds you, they're like, oh really, how dare they just trust your past and stuff like that.
Or just listen and then go and take that stand, like go and tell the guy something different, and then it becomes there's a whole lot of drama. So we'll talk about that when we talk about friendships, another video. But then in terms of also like just have a support, it's good to have a support system, because then once you meet a guy, or let's say that's why you say there's that first look, he's handsome, he's good looking, maybe he ticks 5 of the boxes, he opens his mouth, the accent is the one, the vibe is the one, like the perfume, the way he dresses.
I can't lie, perfume gets me. Say, please.
That's submitting CV.
Don't finish the whole bottle on you because of Zoe. Hey.
So so you're emotionally clouded, like your judgment is already clouded, and sometimes you may end up in a relationship with someone just because you can't see, and that's why it's important to have people you can be like, okay, so this is what's on ground, or you say this or this is that, and then someone on the outside may be able to point out something that you've not yet seen and go like, because I know for sure I have a great support system. Even my sisters, like I know I'm going to basically like tell them about what's going on, and she also mentioned about like asking God, if you meet someone, don't just go, you may come in that car with the perfume and all, and then because he's Christian, you're like, tick, it's not just that, so it's good to constantly like ask God. And I feel like in my experience, because you both shared your experiences of being single. Now I have guys who have been telling me when I was dating, when is that contract ending? You're still with that guy, you're still
So streets are crickets.
And even the few like that, because I think Daphne mentioned that when you know what you want, it becomes harder.
That's true.
Like
my mom calls it literally every time she's married, she's like, oh, these two girls, because you know what you want, she calls it, they're very critical. Like having girls are always critical. They're very critical. But it's not, because if you know what you want, you really shouldn't settle.
It's like don't settle, and it becomes harder. And I think at first, because as women, like there's that. I think that's because coming from a place where I've been always like in a relationship, and then I was always in flings, BGR, boy high school, boy girl relationship, So
shout out to you.
So there's that point of whereby in your personal, like I've had to find a new version of myself in my singleness. Like, who am I without a man in my life? Who am I without the validation of a man? Without being told, oh, you're beautiful. You have to feel beautiful on your own. Look in the mirror and tell yourself, guy, you're
my fine babe.
Fine babe. Like that validation from a guy, like, who am I? So it can be easy, like step into, okay, for my case, from a long-term relationship to the next guy that's complimenting you, being like, oh, like, and if he's like, no. So I've learned to go like, okay, good, so this is what's on ground. And like Zoe said, maybe through a dream, and then you're having these consecutive dreams that's about someone. But then, is it just the dreams, or is it my personal? Because you also have your own judgment besides like the Holy Spirit like speaking to you. Like, is it just me, or is this what I want, or is God actually telling me, go back, God? Is it God? And I've learned that in my faith journey, like, don't grow like tired or weary of asking.
It's true.
Be it career or relation, like basically whatever in your life, because I feel like once I decided to live a God-led life, it came with passing every decision by God and going like, God, is it by will? What do you want me to do? Should I not? Even when I want to, should I do this? Should I not? So it's like, just don't get tired of asking, otherwise you'll end up in the wrong places, because you may get one sign and you're like, sign up, I just dreamt last night, that is it. Go back and ask again, is it? Show me, make it clear, like, God, reveal this person to me, let me see more of them, maybe if there are things that I should, and then you're able. So it's been, I think that has also kept me grounded, and also just knowing that me as Barbara, I'm a child of God, I am a queen, I am royalty, I am beautiful, I am in God's image. So I don't need validation from a man. I really struggled with that, like, having no one to wake up in the morning and tell you, oh, good morning, gorgeous. What? Like, I feel like for me that was one of the things I struggled with. But then also seeing, I'm like, all these men who are vibing me, where are they now that I am single? But then also knowing that I don't want all those men, I want that one man. You get like the previous me wanted to hope and explore is not there. Like, I feel like even at this age of mine, like with my birthday coming up in 2 weeks, I don't have the time to be hoping from man to man. Like, I just need it to be right from God, and if it's not, I will wait. And I feel like in God's timing, He makes everything perfect.
Yeah, that's true.
So even when I know I've seen, like, it's just like wait on God and pray to God. and don't go the next person who is taking you to dinner, offering that trip. I mean, I like travel, so someone can come and be like, man, I'm going to Dubai. Yeah, Dubai. Where do you want to go? Or, yeah, you're beautiful, you know, you post, and I like looking good, so you post, you know, I've done my glam, I'm doing Babos glam, and then I'm posting, and I'm like, wow. And your papa's husbands even be embarrassing themselves in our DMs. But I've never seen this before, so just, I don't know, like, yeah, so that has been
your experience. I just wanted to add on, like, I know earlier I said that, you know, like, you, as a Christian woman, I think as you grow your relationship with God, like He's your Father, and He will tell you what you need, where you're going, and with that it helps you. Like when you go for a job interview, the only reason as to why you're applying for a job is because you've kind of read what they need, your responsibility, and then you're like, okay, cool, I have the qualities, so let me go and apply for the job. And I feel like it's the same with relationships. When you in our single season, at least for me, in my single season, it's been a time where I've come to know who I am. You know, what I like, what irritates me, what doesn't irritate me, where can I compromise, where can I not, what makes me as a person, what's my idea of family, you know, we all come from different families, you know, how many children do I want to have, where do I want to go, like do I want to travel, do I not, in terms of even financial habits, am I a spender, do I save, am I someone who likes to plan 10 years ahead, or do I live in the moment? So things like that, you really get to know yourself in your single season. I always recommend, because sometimes people jump like from school, like of course in school we have flings, you know, and you're in an enclosed space, like you have to date someone there, like it's just inevitable. You know, you don't have any other options. But I feel like when you go to uni, the sample space is big. There's so many people, and then you have all people coming from different schools, different ideologies, different family backgrounds, and that's the time for you to kind of discover yourself in the midst of the people that you're in. And sometimes when you're in a relationship for a very long period of time, especially straight out of school, it's hard. It's really hard to kind of find yourself, and you kind of find yourself just being what the person wants you to be, your partner, especially if your partner is very like not loud, their personality is strong, and yours is a bit like you can just get lost in the background.
And we sometimes this one says girlfriend,
not you. Oh my days. But when you break up, it hurts, but I think it's a good opportunity for you to kind of discover yourself, so that when you go into your next relationship,
it really
you know what you want. And that's why I'm always like, guys, you don't need to date for 5 years. What are you doing?
PhD.
What are you doing? If you know what you want, if you, as a woman, if you know where you want to be, if you know like your career, where do you want to be, what kind of house do you want, what kind of values do you want in your home, faith, like all those things that are dear to your heart, and you meet someone and you're talking, you're trying to seek, are we compatible? Why should that take you 2 years? No, please guys, help me understand. 2 years, you're talking. 2!
Pastor Mrs.
But no, I feel like you can get to know someone within 3 months, right? And then you can take that step and be like, okay, I think let's see where this, like let's try this out, let's commit, and then you become intentional. But even with your dating, it's not like, oh, let's see where this will go. No, you're dating with purpose. Like you want to actually have a long life commitment with this person, right? That's the goal. And as you're dating, as you're getting to know each other, getting to know your families and stuff like that, that's the purpose, that's the goal. I just find that sometimes because people skip that stage of knowing themselves, they just keep like moving from one person to the other, and it's like you can actually be single and survive. Like guys, for example, I am here. If you're out there and you feel like, man, when I'm single, I won't survive, just think of me. I'm here. PhD
replacement.
But yeah, just saying, like singleness is it's not just about relationships. Like your whole entirety is not about you getting married. There is more to life. There is like finding your vocation. What are you passionate about? You know, what drives you, or what's your passion? Do you like to travel? I mean, these two friends of mine, they like to travel. You know? They like to travel. So this is an opportunity for them to like just wake up, Be
pack
like,
your bags,
I
get
need
out
to
of
go.
here. Yeah, like honestly, and I read somewhere that in the time of singleness is when you need to devote yourself first of all. That's the most devoted you'll be to God. Okay, since we're doing, let me start from the faith before my personal things. Like it's the time when you be the most devoted to God ever in your life, because then after that you'll have to submit to your husband, and then you'll have children who are also like under your care. And so this is the time when you can fully and wholly immerse in yourself and like work for the Lord fully, as like this is the most you can
all
do.
those questions you have about God,
Yeah,
this is the time to be
besides do these things, this is the time to do, because then after that it's even a biblical principle: submit to your husband. So then you'll have all these other commitments.
Like there's a scripture, I think it's in 1 Corinthians 17, if I'm not wrong. It says, and single women should keep focused on the Lord, so that they will remain holy in spirit and like in your body as well. So it's very, singleness is actually the best time to, because I think one of my spiritual mentors, she keeps saying, girls, like, use this time, like build your, because of course I know you want to do enjoyment, like you want to do this, but I kid you not, like if you enter marriage when you're not spiritually mature and you don't know your place with God and you haven't built a relationship, I kid you, when you enter marriage, like I'm not married, I have no children, but like I live with a married couple, my brother and sister. Brother, I call her my sister, but she's my single. Yeah. And their child, and like even though the child like is not mine, like me like contributing like to help with stuff at home as well. Like I've seen how it can take so much of your time, and there are times when it actually does affect you, like spiritual growth as well. Yeah. So definitely, when you're single, definitely use this time. It's like very crucial.
This is the time, like to be there for God. And like Daphne said, you guys, I'm actually so glad that I'm sick. I can't. It's strange. People be like, "Wow, how did you move on so fast? Are you okay?" Or like those who haven't, because we're all busy. We're adults, so you meet. It's been 10 months from the breakup, and there's still friends that I haven't personally met in person since. So we haven't had that discussion. So you meet someone, they're like, "Man, I saw your single as a Pringle video. Man, are you okay? What happened? And then
living our best life.
Yes, I am. Like it's actually been good. And like Daphne said, dating, let's say 6 years. Where are we going? Like, what are we doing? And it was important for me to actually have this season of my life to know myself, know what I like. Like I actually didn't know. I can't lie to you. I felt I actually didn't, and I felt like it was really needed. My passions, this is a time of focus. My businesses have grown. Everything I've done has grown in this phase, because then it's just like I'm committed to God, and as I'm more in prayer and I'm talking to Him, He's showing me what, like my vision is more clear for my life, and then that way it will be easy for me to select a partner who is in line with my vision, with a clear vision. I don't know if you get
vision you can align.
with.
Because guys, there's no need for you to date someone who's going left
and you're going right.
Like you're going to be frustrated.
And if you don't know, you will actually just go right.
Yeah. You just find yourselves like complaining and all of these things. Like, but you should know this. Like we can all see it. Why can't you not see it?
Okay. I was having this conversation with my sister. She's another person Phyllis, I share with her very, very deeply. And she's like, if God, let's say, that's why it's important to go back to God. God is just a man for me, because God, I believe, has that person that He has prepared for you. Yeah. However, there's a God of contingency in case something happens and maybe you don't end up with a person goes left, and there's a God of contingency. You'll always have someone for you. But that person that God has prepared for you is because marriage is, I think we preached about this in church a couple of months ago. Like, marriage is for a higher purpose. It's not just for the wedding. It's not just for the function. It's just for the ring, So, like, it's for a higher purpose, right? So the person who God prepared for you to be with, that greater purpose is for both of you. So let's say you meet this other person and you are the one that goes left away from, and you don't meet the person who you're supposed to be with. God is merciful, He still bless you, you'll still be successful. But she's like, you will never be as successful or as happy as you would have been with what God actually prepared for you. So that's why it's like you'd rather wait on God for the person than just going left or right just because you want to have company, to not be alone, to not, So that was just like, I was like, what? yeah, or like your business, or like my purpose. Right now I'm doing my businesses full time, and YouTube and Lotus and Babos and etc Malias, basically things that God showed me years ago, but I kept feeling like maybe I should get a job, maybe I should sit in that office, because everyone, there's financial pressure. But then I can't lie to you, where I am now, my bills are paid, enjoyments are paid for, everything is paid for, and I am at peace. Like, I will be on that border being grained on, but then I feel like this path, like, because I'm in what God planned for me to do,
it's gonna be okay.
it's amazing already, and I'm excited to see
very
how
true.
far I go. I'm just like, I almost missed out on this.
That's
Even
very
beginning
true.
of this year, I was looking for a job. Imagine, brighter man that created my, and it's like, I would have still gotten a good job. I'm a bright person, get to a good rank, be the head of what, project, what, but I would never have been as successful as where I am heading. So same with my relationship. I will wait, and I know that whoever God has planned for me, when the time, like, it will be
good.
yeah,
It'll be good,
yeah.
yeah.
So
I was going to say something. I was going to say, even in your singleness, it's a time to, because I know we're all saying like, oh, it's a time to know yourself, and it's, of course, you will know your strengths, but I think it's also a time to be real with your weaknesses and your flaws.
That's true.
Some people, you're jealous, like, your jealousy levels are very high. You don't know how to be just normal with a guy, the opposite sex. Every time a guy says hi to you, you're rushing to 100. When you get angry, everyone wants to run. So it's a time to and also with some of us have grown up like in single parent households, and that has come with its own like trauma. Its own like childhood experiences. That is a time for you to heal. That's a time for you to find wholeness, because with a person, with a partner, or when you get into a relationship and you're both traumatized, that's going to take longer for you to heal, because you're dealing with both your baggage. It's a bad word, but that's the reality. So it's much better when you're single to find that place where if you need therapy, go for therapy. If it's like you don't know how to interact with the opposite sex, to put yourself in situations where you actually learn how to interact with the opposite sex, learn how to put boundaries within your relationships, not calling people midnight, 3 a.m. like, come on guys, what are we doing? Just having those boundaries, because then when you get married or when you get into a relationship, it's much easier because it's who you are and you're not doing it for the person. And it can also be vice versa, where there's certain things where you just have a different mindset about them, and you meet someone who is maybe also has a different mindset. You're able to communicate, because you're not here trying to pitch your best self. You're actually trying to communicate with the person and be like, you know what, this is what I believe, this is where I'm coming from, these are some of the flaws that I have, and this is how I'm working on them. And then the person is telling you, and you're communicating, and you're like, okay, can I deal with this? Like, can I actually, do I want to partner with this person? In what capacity am I? No, not in what capacity, but what has God called me to be for this person? I always say that whenever you meet someone, ask God, who am I to this person? Am I supposed to date them? Am I supposed to be friends with them? Am I supposed to mentor them? Is it a business partner? Because we mix up those friendships. God has sent you a business partner, you go in town with it, and then it ends badly, and then even the business collapses. It's like, kind of really ask God, and I think that's the basis of every season you're in, whether it be singleness, whether it be dating, whether it be marriage. The main thing is ask God for direction and trust Him to direct you. The Bible says that the steps of a righteous man are ordered by the Lord. And as long as you trust in God, God cannot lie. He's not, like, His hand is not short that He cannot save. When you ask Him, God, is this the person that I should date? He will show you. And I think for me, that's the peace that I have. Even when it comes to like societal pressure, where people are like, Daphne, what's happening? It's been a while since we saw you with someone. I'm like, guys, the time will come, and when it comes, you will all know. But the time will come, and I have that peace because I have that relationship with God. I've spoken to Him about it, and He has assured me that I will know when the person comes.
By the way, you will know. Your ears will tingle.
Your ears will tingle.
You will know. You really know. Like, occasionally your ears will tingle. You hear, and you know, okay, fine, this is the one. I think like most people in our generation, I feel like we're learning this now, but I think that one thing that people have actually, I think like disregarded is that, not disregarded, but like feel is that God does not speak, but God actually does speak.
Yeah.
God actually does speak. And I think it was, correct me if I'm wrong, was it David who inquired of the Lord like every step that he took when he was going for battle? And like he would be like, God, should I do this?
Yeah.
God will say yes. Am I going to lose? He would say yes, but like this is how to win. Like always, in like every
Should we
step
attack?
that
No,
you
don't
take,
attack. Yeah.
every step that you take, always inquire that and be like, okay, fine, God, He has told me this. What should I say? Like even like the small things. He has asked me to go out like on a date. Yes or no? Because God is your father. Like how you would ask your dad, like, I want to go like out with my friends. Is it okay? Like also inquire of God, because never like you never know what will actually happen.
Yeah.
And I think even when Baba was speaking earlier about like being very persistent in prayer, it reminded me of the parable that Jesus told in Luke about the persistent widow who kept asking the judge, please grant me justice, please grant me justice. And then in the end, the judge was like, okay, fine, here. God will do the same for you, literally. Like, just keep asking, be persistent, and always inquire of God. He will actually speak.
Yeah.
Whether it's through wind, I'm joking. But, like, He'll always speak. And, like, you will always know, like, it's God speaking. They're literally, like, two different things. Like, I know there are times when God has said something, and I'll be like, this can't be me speaking because this is like, I'm so against. But you feel that this is
Especially when you don't like the person. God is saying,
this is
Do
the one.
this.
I know.
I like to be in difficult situations because of going to God. You go like, God, and then it's like, now go, and you're like, me have that conversation.
I know.
Really? And I feel like even when we ask God to speak, that's why I said have people, a support system, like have people that you can share with, and back to people that you trust. And probably I would advise people that are on the same journey with you, like they are Christians, they get it, because then they're not advising from their own counsel. They'll probably be like, oh Barbara, I'm going to pray about this for you. I prayed about this, I had this dream. And sometimes you're thinking about something, you're praying for something, and let's say I'm having a conversation with Daphne or Zoe, and without them knowing what they are communicating, like we're in a random conversation about the topic, I get my confirmation through the conversation. Someone says something, I'm just like, oh, okay. Someone says something, I'm like, okay, so maybe this is what I should do, just from the conversation. So when I ask God,
I'm always shouting at them, I'm like, why are you reading my mind?
Like, get out.
God is speaking.
I'm literally saying everything that I've been thinking about. She's like, yeah, by the way, like you like never know, like maybe like this will happen, or like I'm like, you actually in my head, like just get out of my head.
Yeah, so it's really important. Even like that is societal pressure.
Yeah.
After my graduation,
I've been there, honestly.
After graduation, everyone is asking my mom, like, she'll post like, because I like to cook, then I'll post like cook this nice food, send her pictures, then she'll post to her status, people wondering, in that apartment, cooking this food, you cannot tell me there is no man, and they're like, are you sure? Okay, my mom, she's not putting me under pressure, she's more of like, find yourself, do your thing, be financially stable, do your masters. I'm doing a master. Like, she's like, do your thing, like, first soon, like, that's the ultimate goal. My dad on the other end is counting down the days to my queen year. Like, for him, it's
one that counts.
Like, it's too different.
I've invested my money in this
and it's like,
I want my money back.
I'm like, right now I'm not focusing on men. Why? It's like, and then they even tried to set me up with someone. Guy, you need to talk to this person.
African parents need to stop. Because when you were in school and you were men, like when you were in our, in our blossoming season or something, when guys are actually there, they'll be like, no, stay in school.
Stay in school.
But like, I get the intention, but you can't tell me, the minute I graduate, I've walked the stage, where's the husband? Like
that's the next thing. That's the next thing, guys. It's not the ultimate. There are other goals that you can it's not, and it's actually okay. It's okay to go to all those family functions and be like, but you see, that's why it's important to have this, but to be strong in yourself, to be content in where you are, to be content with God and know that He has this perfect plan for you. I'm turning 26. I think I'm the oldest among my friends, so I'm turning 26, and I'm just like, 2 weeks, like, I've been changing, like, that's 25 was like, oh my god, 26, like, man, you've officially crossed over. Like, you're closer to 30 than you are to 20. You get? So it's just like, but then, because I'm content, when I meet people and they ask, like, am I going to be on pressure? I'm asking, hey, still no, even if it's 27 years, Because if I meet him, first of all, I know what I want. Even if we met at 28, I don't need to date you for 5 years. Because I think that was my worry when I became single. Like, God, will I ever find another love story that you know that's good? Because I'm a huge romantic. I'm such a hopeless romantic.
Mushy person.
Wish I have so much. So I'm like, will I find another love story? Will I what? You know? But then now knowing what I know, it doesn't have to, that length of the time is not the depth of the story. Does that make sense? They have to be 8 years again. Like now I meet him at 28, then we'll get married at 35. No, you know, because after 6 years, we're going nowhere.
Yeah.
After 1 year, right now, because I know where I am going back then, and that's why I think I allowed it to keep on going, because I was just so not quite sure where I was going. It's like, oh, it'd be nice for us to get married. Oh, but then where were we actually going?
Yeah.
You know, and it kind of it goes into another, and I'm afraid it could have been 10, but we thank God for my deliverance, because then my Isaac eyes.
God was like, come here.
Yeah, okay, among the things I was delivered, like once I got my deliverance as a person in my spiritual life, like I was able to see a lot of things differently. So now I'm just like, even if it's 6 months, hi, how are you? What? Like, so we said, you will hear, you will know that with Daphne's auntie, she said you feel the magic.
Yeah, she called it magic.
She feel the magic.
Guys, I'm actually being very serious. Your ears will tingle.
That's the thing. I wanted to say that.
Yeah.
In all of this, I think in every season you're in, as a Christian person, the goal is your heart. Like, God is looking at your heart. Even when you're dating someone, God is dealing with your heart. And I feel like even when you're single, God is dealing with your heart. So sometimes God will take you through situations to maybe expose pride in your heart, to expose mindsets that you have that actually are very selfish. But sometimes, to be honest, yes, we like the attention. Like, someone will tell you looking good and you're like,
I know
oof,
that.
man, your head will swell and you're giving working attention. But actually, sometimes you go through things and God is exposing pride in your heart. God is exposing those voids in your heart that you're using other people to fill in. And God wants you whole, because He wants you whole as a person, and He also wants whoever you're going to end up with whole. Like, that's His child as well. That's not just some random person that God doesn't care about. And you need to be whole for that person, because that person is as well whole. But anyway, so I think even as you go through singleness, at least that's one thing I've learned, is that God would deal with your heart in different ways, like friendship, family. Even when the pressure is hot, God would be like, even when things are tight and people are saying things that are annoying you, you need to be respectful. You need to learn how to communicate. You need to learn how to consider where your parents are. It can be scary if you're like, you know, getting older and you're not bringing anyone home, but learning to navigate that space with your parents and be like, you know what, I'm trusting God. And also being honest with yourself. You know, sometimes you're like, hey man, God, it is taking long. Like, what's happening? Do I have a problem? Because sometimes you see everyone around you dating, and you're not. And you're like, hey, am I ugly? Do I have a problem? Do I repent? But God wants you to be secure, because then when you get that person, love is a commitment. There is a time where you have the butterflies, but guys, there's a time that's gonna come. There's no butterflies, and you have to wake up in the morning and choose to love that person that you're with. And you also have to. There are times when you don't feel your best self, but you've got to love yourself. You've got to love your friends. You've got to love your family, even in the difficult moments. So I think, if like when you really, really take time to grow in your singleness, you know, ministry, your relationship with God, spiritually grow in your singleness. Like, know why you believe God. You know, why you're Christian. What does that even mean? What does that look like for you? Christian values, which ones actually are very core to you? Why are they important? You know, we always say, oh, I'll use the cliche one because we're talking about singleness and dating and whatever. Do sex before marriage. Why? The temptations will come. But why?
Remember your
why? You need to know why. Why are you doing it? Because then that will help you, you know, keep it. That will help you honor God in your relationship, honor God in everything that you do, because everything that we do actually is for the glory of God. Even when you're dating someone, that's somebody's son, it's for the glory of God, or that's somebody's daughter. You're going to respect them, you're going to treat them nicely, because they're made in the image of God. So are you, you know? So it's like, grow spiritually, grow physically, like consider your fitness values, gym, eating. Me, I like to eat, guys. I like to eat. I eat everything.
I've done fitness journey a
So
thousand
now-
times, but it's okay.
I can't go and do with someone who is critical about their food because you're going to be complaining. I'm going to be eating something and I'm going to be like,
All
look
that
at how
cheese.
unhealthy you are. Like, please, no. So consider your physical values in terms of how you look, dressing up, how you dress, like makeup, is that important to you, your hair, things like that. And then grow financially. Some of us, we like to spend, others, we like to save, investing, all of
Others
those
have
things.
that peak that goes like spend and you come back down quickly. I feel like that's me.
Honestly, career-wise,
Tomorrow,
like, what career? Are you an entrepreneur? Are you going into the 9 to 5?
Yeah.
Like, what's your thing? Are you okay being a stay-at-home mom or stay-at-home person? Like, what do you want for yourself?
Yeah.
And there are other things, relationships, not only the person you're going to date, but your family. You know, some people actually have like strange relationships with their parents, strange relationships with their cousins and stuff like that. That's a time for you to build that. Yeah. That's a time to build that.
Yeah.
Your friendships. Can you trust your friends with your partner? You know? Do you have where you're going? Okay, yes, I want to get married someday. Do you have any married friends? Like, guys. You have mentors in your business. You're like, yeah, I want to become a CEO. So you go and look for CEO mentors.
Yeah.
What about your relationships?
Yeah.
Do you have anyone that is actually you look up to and be like, you know what? I really, really look up to this person as a wife or as a husband or something like that. I want to sit, under them and learn a few things. Because we can talk from our experience, but we have not been married. We need someone who has gone before us and who has gone through it to kind of really poke holes even in some of our mindsets and be like, you're saying this because you've not met someone. But when you meet someone, actually, it looks a bit different. This is how it could manifest. So things like that, just take your singleness to actually intentionally grow. Your character, man. The amount of people that have told me how women these days lack good character. I'm like, guys, it's common. It's like respect.
It's so funny. Like, I thought it was a joke until when you went to, where did you go on, was it Thursday or Wednesday? And the woman was so rude to us.
Guys,
so
the past 2 days I've been tried. Even yesterday.
Like, shocked.
Women, I can't lie. I thought it was a joke, but like, after hearing it from guys and then seeing it myself, I was like, this is really...
No, honestly.
So develop your character. Go, I know not everyone watching this is a Christian, but there's just some basic things that you need as a person. Be kind to people.
That's
be respectful. Have integrity. When you say something, mean it. You know? Don't talk to people anyhow. Even if I'm your friend, have boundaries. When I tell you I don't like something, please don't do it. You know? Don't do it. Be intentional with your friendships. Be like, check on your people. Like, just develop yourself as a person. Because then when you start dating, it will be much easier. But then also in society, in the community, you'll be a very, helpful person. Or you just be able to mingle with other people. So singleness is such a beautiful
it's really, I love it. And I'm just like, this season is actually not coming back. So it's like, enjoy, learn to be content in every season you're in. If you're dating, enjoy the dating. When you get married, the dating season is not coming back. If you're single, enjoy the singleness. So right now I'm just like, first of all, I can get up, lock my house for 2 months and not return. When I'm married, I won't have that liberty. My husband is like, I can get up, go and stay at Daphin's house, Zoe's house, Angel's house, I could literally not be at my house for a month and it's okay. Come back. If I cleaned, I cleaned. If I left it, it's how I left it. So I have to enjoy this season when I can make meals for myself. I can wake up and it's just peace and quiet. There are no kids crying and I still have to get back then and go like, oh my God, the kids. Then I'm also like, if I get home, whatever time, no one is saying, oh my God, where I work. So every season, and once I'm dating, I'll also be faithful to that season because then now it's training you to be accountable to your to you, because that person you're dating is your husband. So you have to start from dating, then you can be like, okay, now I was doing this, now I was doing that. Because then when you're married, it's like, actually, where were you? You get so it's like from I can just go to now I may tell a person I'm dating, I think I'll go to Zoe's for the weekend and and it's like, where were you for the weekend? I told you I was going to Zoe's. Then when I'm married, it's like, we were planning a girls' getaway and so would it be okay if we stayed out for those 2 days, So just enjoy every season, have someone like Daphne said. I have my sister, she's married. And so even when I talk to my friends, I'll also find myself when it's relationship related sharing with her, because then there's something I feel like her and husband are blessed with ministry for marriage and love. So I feel like there's something she's seeing, or like she reads right through the situation, like it's right there on her book. Because as we're speaking, like from I feel, or I prayed, or I what, but then because she's been through it, she can kind of, it's like if you've gone through, let's say, A-levels, and someone comes, like you can't see the situation because you've been through it. You've been there. So she'll be like, oh, Barbara, so this is this. And I feel like, it's like, so you know, Barbara, sometimes the guy does this, also Barbara, sometimes, oh, then she'll share her experience. So me, I went through this with my husband, and then we're at this stage, I remember myself at this stage, and I remember being frustrated about the same thing, you know. So it kind of gives you that peace and calm, and at the end of it all, you go back to God, and then you find peace. So singleness is good, guys. Enjoy it.
I can't lie. It can't be
Yes,
hard
it can be
sometimes.
hard, yes.
Sometimes. Because though, like, be those days like you're like, oh my God, like all my friends.
Valentine's is coming. Where's your boyfriend? You are sitting at home.
I'm telling you, like, it can be hard. Like, even like the just like random days will come. And you're like, God, like I actually do want someone, and it's good. Like, as I'm definitely like, be vulnerable. But like, be like, okay, God, like this, that, like God knows your heart, and like He sees these things. But like, if you don't ask, if you don't say these things, like.
You just be like the bitter
Exactly.
heart. Seeing your friends in enjoyment
This
and you're
Bible
bitter.
verse of if you remain in me and my word remains in you, ask whatever you want and it shall be granted. So that's why in your singleness, keep seeking God, because then when you do feel alone, you be like, God, I need a companion. I need someone. Me personally, I like love. You see me here, I'm being hard girl, but deep down,
I have to tell you how deep it is.
Deep down, it's like that is I'm just like, you mean like I like to cook, I like to host. So sometimes I'm just like, I need to take care of somebody's son. But where is somebody's son? Like you get. That's why I'd be like, okay, good, because then I am also content at the same time. So it's like a bowl of all emotions. Or your third wheeling for this couple. You're like, oh, love is beautiful. It would be nice, you know. It'd be nice for someone to take me out to eat and I don't have to pay my bill. It'd be nice to have someone to do these thoughtful things for me.
Not
spend time, you know. But then again, I'm like, you know what? In that season, still, I'm also like, it's not whining and just feel like bad. It's letting God know what I want, but also being content in where I am. And also as I meet people, still all the things that we've discussed. So we hope this has really been helpful.
Yes, don't forget. Do not forget, guys. As we recap, don't forget. In your singleness, please intentionally grow. Grow spiritually. Grow physically in terms of your body, your how you dress, things like that. Intellectually, please, like
use this time
learn something. Learn, grow your career. If you're like, just grow, watch news. I need to do that, guys. I don't watch news, but I need to watch news. I need to be current.
Twitter gives me my news in real time. Let's go to training and be like, oh, this happened.